All right, guys and gals, it's about that time of day again here, folks. Newsletter time. JJ here. SchoolOfTrade.com. SidewaysMarkets.com is our blog address. Welcome to your nightly newsletter for Wednesday evening, November 12th, 2014. Hope everyone had a restful and happy Veterans Day holiday on Tuesday. I was just talking to John Henry and the rest of the guys in the office here this afternoon about how we should always have a Tuesday off in the middle of the week, right? We're talking about Thursday tomorrow already. Boy, time flies when you're making money, having fun. Hope you guys had a great day out there. Tonight's newsletter, we are jam-packed. We got crude pushing lower, gold trading sideways. Russell finally hit our target in the late afternoon today. Finally got that Russell pushing higher. Before I jump into the charts, though, for today, before we jump into today's charts and get ready for tomorrow, I want to remind you guys, make sure you're watching this video over here at SidewaysMarkets.com. If you're not on our blog right now, if you're watching this video on our YouTube page, there's a link right below the video to make sure you can get right over here to this blog post for 3 specific reasons. 3 reasons why you got to get over here to the blog. First reason, you can download all of my charts for today's newsletter, right? That's the first thing. You can download all the charts, all the hard work I've put together. You don't even have to be a student here at School of Trade. You can download them all by following that link right below the video. Second thing here, upper left-hand corner, I would love to send you a free pass to give yourself some time in our trade room. If you'd like to see what it feels like to be a member, if you'd like to get some experience inside my trade room before you come join us as a brand new student here at School of Trade, I've got a free pass for you guys to trial out our trade room. And of course, the third thing here, lower left-hand corner, we have a mailing list for our nightly newsletter. Make sure you never miss another newsletter ever again by giving me your name and your email address. And then once you register for the newsletter, or if you grab your free pass, I'm going to send you a verification email. So make sure you check your email, including your junk folder, spam folder, right, whatever folders you got there, because I'm going to send you a verification, right? Make sure you guys are not a robot and make sure you have the right email address. All right, guys? So make sure you get over here. Make sure you're watching this video on our trading blog at SidewaysMarkets.com. Download today's charts, grab your free pass, and register for our nightly newsletter. Now, I think we're ready to rock and roll here now. Seatbelts fastened, helmets on. All right, hope you're hydrated. Let's jump right in here. First of all, we'll start here with a mighty mini Russell here this evening. We finally, boy, I mean, I literally was about to check for a pulse earlier on this week on the Russell. I mean, we went up, new high, bought it on the pullback. We've been waiting to get up to that first target there at 86 even. Finally got that taken care of today. And then we get another target waiting for us up here at 1200. Now, if you missed the buy last week, remember this was back on the 4th and 5th of the month. So this was a week ago, right, when we had that chance here to buy as it pulled back. We never quite got all the way down to that key support level. That was what we were really looking for. We were drooling over a buy at 53.7, but unfortunately never pulled back. We go up to the high. If you missed the buy from last week, you missed it. So do not buy here. Do not buy at these highs. Long-term buyers, you got to wait here for a pullback. 72.1, 1164 even. So if you missed the buy last week, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer here now. Wait for that pullback here on the Russell. Looking at 2 buy zones here as we pull back. And I've got targets at 86. I've got target at 1200. I got a target here, we'll call that 1205 and 1218. 4 easy targets. One of them is a big round number at 1200, right? So you know that's a magnet for those buyers right now. Moving forward, though, here on the mighty mini Russell, we take a look at a faster time frame. If you don't want to wait patiently for that for the 1172.1, right? If you don't want to wait for the 72.1 off the 32, you can wait here and grab it at 77. So we get a new higher high. Check out the volume down bottom. Volume clearly confirming, right? Compare the highs. Volume clearly confirming. Okay, so we definitely know the bulls are in control right now. We can see our indicators up top here tell us that every time frame is bullish. Everybody's in the buy side right now on the Russell. But again, you don't want to be buying these highs. Do not buy that high. That high is going to take your money if you buy it most of the time. There will be times here and there where you can buy the high and it will keep on going for you. But if you buy the high every time, you're going to lose money in the long run. What I'm looking for now is a pullback into my buy zones, and I've got 77.7, 74.1, and then 67.2. We'd really like to get a buy down here at 67.2. That wouldn't be bad at all. Remember, I love to be a buyer as low as we can get this thing to pull back. And then overhead on the Russell, I've got targets here at 1189, 1194.4, and 1201.4. So got some short-term targets for you guys to the upside. Be aware, just be aware, guys. This trend channel looks pretty darn strong. So if we happen to bounce and then bounce again, that'll be another buy at the low of that channel. And then don't forget, same thing goes for the top side of that channel as well, right? If we buy this low here, depending on when and where we get up there, those channel highs could either be above or below that first target. So do not hold to that first target if you got to get through the top of that channel, right? I would not recommend holding through the top of that channel. Take your profit as you go into the top of that channel. So waiting for a pullback right now. We got 3 areas here to look for that pullback on the Russell. And then I've got 3 targets. And in addition to that, I have a top of a channel here that will also act as a target as well. Now, don't forget, we're going to be calling trades live in real time on the Russell tomorrow. So don't forget to come out and join me in our live trade room, and we'll make sure you guys know exactly how we're going to do it. Moving on to the gold here. Now, the gold has been suffering from strong dollar syndrome over the past few months. Got a real strong U.S. dollar, and that is keeping the gold pushed lower. But as you can see here, right now, we have a bearish trend in the long term, but boy, this is definitely not trending. This is definitely sideways right now. So gold is clearly trading sideways. Ultimately, we have 3 things we want to remember when we have a sideways range. 1, buy the lows. 2, sell the highs. 3, stay the heck away from the middle. And that's where we are right now. So you really want to be careful right now on the gold. As I look left a little bit, again, you can see we're definitely not bullish right now, right? It's impossible to call this bullish. This is definitely bearish. We're just simply consolidating here at these lows around 1150. So what is a trader to do? I'm just going to stay to the sell side right now. I will stay conservative and keep selling. We had a great sell off the highs, right, earlier on this week. Never got a retest of it yet though, but we got 71.5 for a sell. Let me get this a little bit easier to see here. Try to get this in a better spot there. There we go. Right, but bottom line is, get rid of that. There you go. Okay, so now, looking at a sell here at 71.5, looking for a sell at 83.3, 79 even, 93 even. So as the price goes higher, I'm going to look to sell this baby and bring it back lower, right? As the price goes higher, I'm going to sell it and bring it back down. As the price goes higher, I'm going to sell it and bring it back down. The only thing that will cause me to be a bull is if we were to go up, pull back, and make another move higher. That's the only scenario where I start thinking, right, about being a buyer. Everything right now is long-term downtrend. Again, we got some fundamentals from the dollar right now, right? The dollar is really thriving because of the lack of strength in the euro, and of course the emerging markets being slowed down, right? So we know we have a strong dollar that's causing gold to stay pushing lower. Right now, it appears we have a temporary little pit stop here. We have a big meeting tomorrow between the ECB and the Fed. I'll talk about that tomorrow, or later on here. I'll talk about that in a moment. But tomorrow morning, we do have a pretty important meeting tomorrow between the Fed and the ECB. So that may be why we have a little bit of paralysis here on the gold. So really, I'm looking to sell short on the gold right now. This is really the only chart you need right now. I can go down to a faster time frame, but it's not going to give you anything more. So basically, sell these highs, right? Sell these highs, take your profit off the lows. If we get down to these lows, you can definitely be a buyer on this. But if you're going to buy here in this long-term downtrend, I can definitely see it. right? I mean, there's no doubt about it. You'll be able to get a little bit of profit off those buy zones below, but definitely take some profit quickly and move that stop up, right? Because you're dealing with, for example, right, we come down, bounce off this low. I can probably get, 15, 20 ticks out of the move, but boy, it's going to quickly reverse here if those buyers don't grab it and keep buying. So definitely be careful on the buy side right now and stay the heck away from this area right here. You do not even want to be looking at gold right now, right? So we're going to talk about why this is probably slowing down here in just a moment. But I don't need to speculate too much. It's pretty easy to see there on the gold that we were struggling here in the middle. Last but not least here, we go from our funny yellow metal here down to the crude oil futures. On crude, very similar situation we've seen on gold. Crude oil is also suffering from strong dollar syndrome, right? Got a real strong U.S. dollar, and with that real strong U.S. dollar comes cheap prices on pretty much everything else except for the equity markets. So we know that we have that strong dollar pushing this crude lower. We know that they're expecting warmer weather. OPEC recently lowered their demand forecast for the end of the year and 2015. The list keeps going on and on and on. It appears that this is not going to end. Now, we've been waiting for $70 a barrel is about where we've pegged this thing long term. But as you can see, though, right now, we're trying to get to that $75 a barrel. That's the next stop to the downside. Clearly in a bearish trend. I do not need to look very far here, guys. So I'm looking to sell short. And just like we talked about on gold, crude is bearish, but it's stuck inside this sideways range, right? We gave you guys some easy selling opportunities earlier on this month. These two were last week, and then this was from Monday. So there have been no shortage of selling opportunities up at these highs, right? But if you missed the chance to sell the highs, if you didn't take my advice and sell those highs earlier on in the week, now you're down around the lows here now. We just simply can't sell here. So what am I going to do? Well, we have we really have a couple options here right now, and I'll talk about that in the next chart. Basically, I've got sell zones overhead along with this little trend line here too. So basically, as we go higher, I'm looking to sell that trend line. As we go higher, I'm going to sell the 79.12. As we go higher, I'm going to sell the 79.36. I'm going to sell the 79.85. And boy, I don't think we'll get there, but if we happen to get up there to 82, 81.37, we'll sell that area too. Remember, in a long-term downtrend, I hope the prices go higher so I can be in a better position, better price to get short. Now, I could buy these lows, but like I said on gold, right, you try to buy these lows, you better take some quick profit on this, because if it doesn't keep going, it's going to collapse pretty quickly. And then we've got targets to the downside here, 75.84, 75 even is a big round number, 73.69 is an extension, 72.80 is also an extension on the way down. Remember, guys, on this crude right now, you got this awesome trend line coming overhead. This is a great spot here to be looking for a short, okay? So be on the lookout for a short and see where these two trend lines collide. I don't think we're going to get it tomorrow, but we may. If we go lower here, I would love to get short, right, out of like a cross of these trend lines, okay, kind of a triangle pattern there. All right, guys. So on the lookout here on crude. We're selling crude here, but right now we are stuck at the lows. Now, when I go to a little bit faster time frame here, you begin to see a little more detail here. So crude oil is down at the lows of the trading range, and basically at these lows, we have three options. Now, before you go thinking about the three options, I want you to think about what my trend is right now, right? Because that's going to determine which of these three options I use. Right now, we have a bearish trend. So I'd like to sell short. I'd like to stay on the side of that trend, selling short. So what's my first scenario? First scenario is I could buy the lows. Okay, so scenario one, I'm stuck down at these lows. Scenario one, I could buy the lows. But we're in a downtrend, so that's counter trend. I'm not going to go encouraging you guys to buy right here. Again, you could, but you'll get a little bit of a profit out of it, and then it will usually roll right over. And so you really want to take a quick profit, tighten up that stop, right, and protect your capital on that. The second scenario is another option, a much better option. Okay, wait for a new low and sell the next retracement. Here's what I'd be doing. Okay, if we get a lower low here tonight, look for a short off that trend line. If we get a lower low tonight, right, or tomorrow morning, right, or anytime tomorrow for that matter, right, it doesn't really matter to me when it happens. But if we make that new lower low, look for that short off that trend line, right? You'll see the trend line will come out, grab that short off that trend line. So as we go lower, sell the next retracement. Now, tomorrow morning in my live trade room, I'll be using volume to analyze higher highs and lower lows. So remember to look for volume to be increasing as you're going lower. What you don't want to do is have the volume try to go, right, try to slow down here, right, lower volume, and then what's going to happen is it's going to reverse right back in. So the only time tomorrow, okay, deal? The only time tomorrow that you're going to be selling with that lower low is if you see strong volume here. I want the volume indicator now increasing, right, as we push lower, okay, as we push lower. So real important on that. Third scenario would be to wait for price to test the highs. Okay, that's the best scenario. That's going to give us the most amount of bang for the buck, most amount of reward for the least amount of risk. So where would I be selling? 78.14, 79.12, 79.85. So the highest percentage way to trade right now has nothing to do with going lower. It has to do with going higher, right? And I know that sounds a little bit incorrect, but if you're going to sell something, you want to sell it at the highest price you can get it to sell, right? So we're going to sell at resistance here overhead. Okay? Looking good here for crude. Again, crude bearish for tomorrow. I've got you guys with some sell zones overhead. If you're looking for targets down below, you've got those targets on the 32 anchor chart here as well. We've got the Russell that needs to pull back. Wait for that Russell to pull back. And again, gold. Oof. That is just not looking too happy right now, right in the middle. So stay patient there on the gold. Now, let's get ready for tomorrow. This has been a weird week. This has been a very odd week, hasn't it, guys? We come out of, I mean, literally, you could go as far back as last weekend and go daylight savings time, right? That took 3-4 days to get everybody back on the same sleep schedule, right? First of the month. Then we went right into the ECB report last week, Wednesday. Hop, skip, and jump to last Friday's non-farm payrolls. We come back for 1 day on Monday. Just 1 day on Monday. We got Reaction Monday. That was the 10th. Right? So we had I'm sorry, I forgot the election last week. How could I forget that? The stinking election last week, too. So that's right. It was election, ECB, and non-farms last week. After, by the way, daylight savings time shifted. Then we come back for just 1 day here, right? We had Monday, which was a really good day, but it was very sloppy. We had Tuesday off, right, which puts that whole scarcity effect into play. And then Wednesday we come back, and there wasn't any news on Wednesday. There was nothing today, right? So now we've got literally, I would think tomorrow could be nothing but fireworks, right? I mean, it could be the grand finale of the week tomorrow, really. Now we got a little bit of a stall here, though. There's one big thing you want to be aware of for tomorrow. Tomorrow there's trying to slip one under the rug here. We got Janet Yellen is speaking, but that's not just her speaking. Tomorrow there is a relatively unpublicized meeting between the ECB and the Fed tomorrow. Okay, I don't have a lot of information on it yet, but I'm going to be looking at it in more detail tomorrow morning once we start hearing more from our news wires. So there's a pretty, I can't imagine anytime they get the ECB in with a meeting with the Fed, I can't imagine they're talking anything. I can't imagine they're talking about the baseball World Series, right? They're definitely going to be getting some work done tomorrow. I have a funny feeling tomorrow's going to be a really, really active day. But there's one little thing, right, we know folks might be waiting on. If, we saw gold in the middle, right? We got gold kind of sluggish right now. I would assume that's to blame. And, again, kind of a weird week here. So tomorrow, a lot of news. But again, I'm kind of concerned about that meeting between the ECB and the Fed. That may kill a little bit of our volume for tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see how it goes. Obviously, I can't predict. Looking at the news here for tonight, we've got news here tonight, 6:50 p.m. So just in a few minutes here as I'm recording this right now. So news out of Japan here tonight. You shouldn't have to wait very long, guys, for good price action in the overnight session. You've got news from China tomorrow. Well, it's pretty much tonight, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, and that's pretty much happy hour here in Los Angeles. So 12:30 a.m., pretty much the beginning of tomorrow's session, you get industrial production of China. So Japanese news tonight, Chinese news tomorrow morning. Then we go into just this slew of news reports. We got CPI from Germany, France. We got Swissy news. We got CPI from our good friends in Italia. We've got jobless claims at 8:30. So we see here we've got literally 12:30, 2 o'clock, 2:45, 3:15, 4 o'clock. So you guys in Europe tomorrow have a very, very busy schedule on your hands. And again, I'm not sure what to think of this meeting between the Fed and the ECB. I haven't heard a lot of people talking about it yet, but it's on my schedule. It's on multiple calendars for tomorrow. So we will expect that to be a little bit of a, again, with all that big news, I would assume that tomorrow will be a pretty active session, the London trading session. But with that news kind of lingering there late morning, early afternoon, it's tough to tell if European traders will be sitting on hands or not. So stay patient tomorrow morning if it's low volume ahead of that news report. Then we go into the U.S. In the U.S. tomorrow, we get a bunch of stuff here. We do have the jobless claims report tomorrow at 8:30. We got JOLTS, right, the job openings and layoffs and transfer survey, right? That is Janet Yellen's favorite jobs report. We got a little bit of a curveball here. We got the petroleum status report. This is crude oil inventories. Usually crude oil inventories are on Wednesdays, but we had a holiday on Tuesday, and whenever you have a holiday before the inventory report that week, it's always pushed back to 11 o'clock on Thursday. So tomorrow we've got the crude oil inventory report. So talk about this for a second. If we're trading crude tomorrow, you got to be aware tomorrow is that day of the week where we get the inventory report. So you want to be careful trading crude oil on usually on a Wednesday, right? But of course, we've got it scheduled for a Thursday. Be aware also with all that major news tomorrow morning in the U.S., if we're not seeing a lot of volume, we can assume what they're waiting on for tomorrow. But overall, though, I would expect tomorrow to be a pretty good day. Starting out tonight in Japan, tomorrow morning in China, and then literally rapid-fire news here in Europe. We've got jobless claims, if anybody cares. I don't think anybody watches that anymore. Jobless claims at 8:30 tomorrow morning. I think the big one here will be the JOLTS at 10 a.m. and then 11 o'clock for crude. Again, come out and see me tomorrow in the trade room. We'll walk you guys through how we're going to be trading crude tomorrow on an inventory day. It's a very delicate process on a Thursday when the inventory has been pushed back for a full day. All right, guys, so be ready tonight. Be on the lookout tomorrow for clues that things are slowing down ahead of that news from Janet Yellen. And again, I'll do my best tomorrow morning when I get to my desk to figure out what time is it going to be. It's scheduled for 12:45 right now, but I highly doubt that's when the meeting begins. So we will check back in tomorrow morning and see when Yellen and Draghi are getting that party started. I believe they're here at the White House, right, or at the Fed. All right, guys, wrap it up here for now. A fantastic, fantastic Wednesday today in our live trade room. Hope you guys had a great day as well. Don't forget, head back over to the blog here at Sideways Markets. Download today's charts. Grab your free pass. And don't forget, if you happen to wander over here to SchoolOfTrade.com, you can join our free trial. You'll learn more during that free trial than any other on the web. We've got 3 levels of membership: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And I always have someone standing by here 24 hours a day, 365 days a year to give you guys some help if you need it. Guys, we are the longest running, fastest growing trade room and educational site for day traders on the web, guys. We celebrated our 10-year anniversary this year. And boy, it'll be 11 years in just a few weeks. So come out and see me tomorrow. Have yourselves a great evening. Thank you so much for stopping by. And we'll see you same time, same place tomorrow night on our newsletter for Thursday evening. Adios, amigos. Bye for now.